How's it going, everyone? It's been some time since I uploaded the previous video. I've really just been busy doing my own stuff, and I'm glad to report that I have actually picked up some momentum in my business as well as the hobby that's relevant to AI. So that's good. Well, that's good on my side. I really want to share with you guys a second Chrome extension that I've built, which I've been posting about it for some time in my social media and LinkedIn. But really, I feel like this is a long due video that I should post. I really should have been posting this a month ago. But let me show you guys what this thing can do first. As you can see, there's a floating window here. I call this the general download renamer. It's pretty much just an extension of what I have been building, what I've built before as the Gmail attachment downloader, renamer. But basically, the idea is that since we're renaming all the Gmail download attachment, why don't we extend the functionality to every download that you do in your Chrome, right? So as you can see, when I click on it, it has, a simple toggle on and off for your renaming. Right now, I have a current pattern of having the date, domain, original file name, and timestamp. Um, for this renaming functionality, if I click on the options, you would see the availability. The options of having your domain, timestamp, which is a full date and time if you want to know when exactly you downloaded your downloads, or the date, or just the time, and the original file name, right? And then I also put in the separator, which has basically the separator in between those domains, whether it's an underscore, a period, hyphen, asterisk, letter, or space, or none, right? So you can feel free to change that, so it gives you that renaming functionality. You can just click on save. So I just kind of quickly want to show you what this thing can do. So here you can see is my Gmail, and then basically when I click on receipt, if I click on download, it is gonna see that it's gonna rename your Gmail download as what my past Chrome extension could do. Have the date on it, the domain, which is mail.google.com, the receipt, which is the name, and then the date of the date stamp, actually, the timestamp, which has the date and also the time, which is 10/11/31 a.m. here at Detroit, Michigan, the USA. And if I go to Pinterest, could be another website that you want to take a download, and this thing would work as well. If I click on download image, you can see instantly it triggers and it gets renaming your download, right? And if you're a make, as what if you haven't watched, by the way, I'm just going to post the links of my previous videos on top somewhere over here, so that you can see, or maybe over here, the if you want to like export some of your blueprint, you do that, and then it also gets triggered and then renames your whatever blueprint. But just want to show you guys the difference. So if I disable it, right, and then if I click on export again, it's going to not to give you the rename functionality. It's going to say blueprint 12 because I've downloaded 11 of them already. So pretty much, yeah. So, and then one last thing I want to show you. So like even for like a website, or like a save image functionality. So let's say if you're just anywhere, you're in Pinterest, it doesn't matter, right? But if you right click and say save image, what this can do, let me make sure that you can see my screen entirely. Yeah, so this can do is you can see that, because I've toggled it off, so I want to toggle it back on. Let me do that. Oh, okay. So it does have little bugs here and there when sometimes I just have to move it around to click on it. Sure, I'll be fixing these in the future patches. But if I toggle it back on again, I right click and save image, you can see automatically in your download save as screen, it has the renaming mechanism activated. So you feel free to click on save, or if you like this downloading mechanism, or you can pick your own rename, whatever name you want to put for this download. Okay, so now I'm back on cursor, which I want to just show you guys a little bit of what I have done, what I've learned through the journey of building this extension. Um, as you some of you might have known, I'm a vibe coder. I have no coding background before. I learned all this through vibe coding actually. And one thing I usually tell people is that vibe coding is actually a good way for you to actually learn coding, because AI at this moment, unfortunately, even though I'm using Claude 4, sometimes I toggle between Claude 4.03 or Gemini 2.5 Pro, for my coding process in Cursor. But really, I think vibe coding is the way to go if you want to learn things about coding, because it's forcing you to be able to read code and be able to debug, when AI is not able to debug for you. Okay, talking about the model, the first thing I do want to mention is I'm on the Pro subscription for Cursor, and as you can see, I like to switch on the think mode. So I have the think mode switched on for all three of them. Um, I don't really use O3 because that's gonna trigger the max mode, and it's gonna charge me on per request. But basically, the two models I like the most. I used to love 3.7 because but okay. So this is what I'm gonna say. If I'm planning for the next steps, or if I'm simply asking questions from AI when you're coding, I would usually use Gemini 2.5 Pro, because I think it has I mean, I used to know that Gemini 2.5 has the longest context window, but as you can see in the little remarks on the left, it has 120K context window as well as Claude 4. They have the same length of context window. But I feel like Gemini 2.5 Pro, personally, I think it may have the best understanding of your coding structure. It goes through your code base pretty quickly, and has a good general understanding. And Claude 4, or Claude in general, just is a good model to write code for you, or like debug code for you. So my workflow usually goes this way. I use 2.5 Pro to kind of orchestrate, kind of be the architect for what you want to write for your project, and then use Claude for the actual. So that being said, I think this time I have done a much better job, because I've learned so much from my previous 10, I'll say probably 15 projects, big or small. But really, the first thing you need to have is cursor rules. So here's my take, right? In cursor rules, I have, as you can see, I have like bug fixes, which I just, this is like one document, one cursor rule. I know, like, sometimes people want to have fewer number of cursor rules that they lump everything all together in one cursor rule. But I just feel like I want to have individual topics, or like individual rules, because when they're falling into different categories. Code formatting, it's important. You wanna AI to know, like, what is the kind of folder structure of the code base. Coding standard, you want to tell it like what is the tech stack you're using for this project. Documentation, right? Error handling, always have error handling. It's almost like a rule that AI knows already. Even if you don't have this, it's usually when AI writes the code, it will include error handling, just to be just in case. General AI behavior. Yeah, so I like to do so. This is kind of, I would say, keep responses concise to the point. Avoid making changes to unrelated files unless explicitly instructed. Prioritize readability and maintainability over complex. So that is kind of very important, because I usually write this text in the chat bot. Sorry, the chat window a lot, because when you're spending, like, I would say, more than 20 hours in one single project, you kind of go overflow of your content, right? So sometimes you have no choice, because what cursor usually does, again, my personal understanding is, it's gonna feed the cursor rules, and whatever, because I'm choosing always to attach this rule, so you will always feed the cursor rules to the chat window, as part of the prompt to AI. But when it gets longer, because it's like, for example, this one, this chat window gets longer and longer, and when it gets overflowed to that 120,000, tokens context window, it could potentially forget so that's what I see sometimes. So if that happens, usually it's either you want to open up a new chat, which is kind of not so ideal because it'll forget what it has done before, and you have to kind of re-instruct it to tell the AI what has. Or I just have to manually copy and paste this text again in the chat window. It depends. So that kind of takes me to another topic, which is how should you vibe code? Again, I was listening to a lot of podcasts, and there's no right and orient. There's no right or wrong, right? You can only learn by doing it. Just do it, and it's like I feel like many of those um, learnings I gained are from hands-on experiences. So my take is that for each chat window, um, as you can see, I probably have a bunch of different chat windows. Um, I tend to use one chat window for one task, right? So there's a project sync. Okay, so the last rule, just let me finish this. The last rule as project sync is I tell AI to always refer to PRD markdown document and always look at task breakdown. So which is two other documents. I should have put them in a folder, which is probably better, but have them right here. PRD is product requirement document that you want AI to always refer to, and also product descriptions. Sorry, not product description, task breakdown, which is, as you can see, I have this little checkoff crossing out mechanism where I'm instructing AI to cross out the each and every one of those tasks when it has done it. Okay, so this will come really, really handy. It as you can see, I probably didn't do a perfect job as to crossing out everything in this, but I should. But really, what's going on here is having AI to be able to always go against the PRD and task breakdown so that it knows where it is at. And for different, just because we still have a limited context window. I know that Claude. Okay, I don't want to kind of talk about other things, but um, what I like with the functionalities or capabilities of the tools that we have nowadays is, for example, if I'm at, let's say, phase 3, right? Phase 3 task, let's say task 1, which has 6 individual like subtasks. What I usually do is I tend to open a new chat window if I'm starting phase 3, right? And I'll start to go through this first subtask with the 6 individual subtasks, and then I'll see if AI is able to, how much AI could complete within the 6 subtasks. If I think that if it's having if we're spending I don't know 20, 30 chats or 40 chats going back and forth just to finish the first 6 tasks, as long as that finishes, I will open a new chat window, right? So in that way, it kind of always remember the cursor rules that you've given to him, because it happens many times to me that I feel like it's forgetting the cursor rules that I'm feeding to the AI. So that's kind of really handy, I think. What else I want to talk about? I don't really want to go through the floating icon CSS and JS coding. I mean, these are architecturally the structure of the coding base, but really kind of what I want to share in this video is like a high level of what I do. So the whole thing kind of started from scratch, obviously, and the first thing I always ask AI to do is to construct a PRD. Is always the first thing, right? With the PRD, well, PRD also come from a kind of a general understanding of what you want the product to be. Let me sip a coffee, and then from the PRD, I will kind of let AI to write the cursor rules together with the task breakdown. And task breakdown is kind of the second thing I wanted to do, because it gives, again, it's kind of a way to kind of govern AI to control its behavior when things gets just too lengthy, because it's very lengthy even for a small project like this. So yeah, that's really what I want to show you. I don't want this video to get too long. So hopefully you're enjoying this video. Again, don't want it to get too long, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And I'm gonna put the link to this Chrome extension. It's free. It's completely free. I'm not putting any subscription in this tool, because who's gonna pay for it? But anyway, I do want you to kind of go through it, and I might also just put up the GitHub repository to this whole project, and you guys can check it out if you want, and download it to Cursor, and you see what I've built if you want to take a look. Otherwise, that's it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one.